Dana White on the recent episode on the Real Quick with Mike Swick's podcast spoke on the recently announced matchup between Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul. He said that he expects Tyron Woodley to win by knockout.
Tyron Woodley has punching power and you know, obviously he's put a lot of dudes to sleep in his career. Tyron Woodley doesn't look like, you know, the Tyron Woodley of the past that was putting everybody to sleep. He hasn't won a fight in 3 years. He's going to be 40 years old, you know. But I will give it to him. He's at least stepping in there with a guy who can punch. Well, I'd have to go with Woodley by knockout. Listen, man, Woodley should knock him out. But again, the Tyron Woodley you talk about that was the champ isn't the same guy he was, you know, 4 years ago.
Alexander Volkanovski on a recent episode of the JRE podcast said that Brian Ortega is fake and said that he's an awkward person to be around. Brian Ortega recently reacted and posted this on his Twitter saying, "At Alexander Volkanovski, when you showed me respect in person then turned around and got on a podcast and called me fake, it says more about you than me. Even when Joe Rogan asked you why and you had nothing to back up your statement." Jake Paul's trainer J. Leon Love recently sent a message to both Mike Perry and Eddie Alvarez. He posted this on his Twitter saying, "Woke up to a lot of MMA fighters that are needing a check. At E. Alvarez Fight, at Platinum Perry and a few others. Any more broke MMA fighters that need some money? Fill out an application, link in bio, and tell me why I should fight you." Eddie Alvarez reacted and posted this on his Twitter saying, "I'll assume you added the wrong fighter here. I got plenty, big guy. Talk about needing money. You got 10 mouths to feed. I'll keep my fingers crossed you find yourself a fight purse. If I need my hands wrapped or Mick guy next fight, I'll hit you up. I promise." He followed up with, "We fight in rings, cages, circles and mats. Anywhere is just fine for us. But we really fight. If you let 10 boxers out in a cell and 10 MMA fighters, who's gonna live and who's gonna die? Take your gloves and shoes and shove them up your..." Michael Bisping on the Believe in Me podcast believes that Michael Chandler would lose to Justin Gaethje if they ever fought.
I've yet to meet him, but everybody says he's great. He comes across well. He carries himself with class. You know, he's a great guy. He's a good fighter. You know, but I'm just curious. I'm not sure Justin Gaethje is a good idea for him, to be quite frank. I don't think he wins that fight. I don't think he wins that fight against Justin Gaethje. And then it's like, okay. Then the only reason I say that, listen, I'm sure he can compete. But you want me to pick a winner? I'll say I think Justin Gaethje probably wins that fight. I don't know that for sure, but at this early stage, I would lean towards Justin Gaethje. And the reason why that's so risky for Chandler is because now they start talking, oh, was it just a flash in the pan? Was it a lucky punch that he landed against Hooker? You know what I mean? All these questions present themselves then. Whereas, and again, if he was to fight for the belt, beating Justin Gaethje will be the fastest track to that. But if I was him, I'd just slow your roll a little bit, you know what I mean? Again, as I just said, have a comeback fight. Don't have a number one contender fight straight away. But as the saying goes, he's here for a good time, not a long time, you know, so we'll see.
Hey, where you at, man? I'm waiting for you. I waited at the airport. You didn't show up. Abraham Kawa, if somebody's seen him, page this guy. Where are you, bro? I'm here. Where the f are you, bro? That backdrop, huh? Where you at, fool? No matter where we're at. Siempre lo mismo con lo mismo, entrenar.
Anthony Smith on Sirius XM says that Conor McGregor being the highest paid athlete on Forbes will help other UFC fighters as well.
That's huge. That's huge. And you know what? He deserves every penny of that. The demand for Conor McGregor is high. It's as high right now as it's ever been. I think it's good for the sport. It definitely brings up our ceiling. Just to kind of transition a little bit to John Jones talking about he wanted $50 million or whatever. Like, when I speak about John Jones not getting $50 million to fight, it's not because I don't want him to. I absolutely want John Jones to make $50 million when he fights, because as his ceiling gets brought up, so does everybody else's. You pull everybody up with you. I'm all about everyone getting paid as much as they possibly can. When I spoke on John Jones, it was more in like, I think we're getting a little bit unrealistic here. It's like a $15 an hour worker looking for a raise and asking for $70 an hour. It's too unrealistic of a bump. It's not saying I don't want them to get that. It's just, so I think Conor being on top of that list does exactly that. It just keeps pulling everybody up and showing that we're legitimate athletes, because I think sometimes these basketball players and these football players, I know that, say 5 years ago, they didn't necessarily always take us as serious as maybe they would take other sports. I think over the last 5 years with the ESPN deal and just the Reebok stuff and the uniforms and just being more recognized, I think as on the same level, I think that this absolutely helps that.
before any of you ever say, I don't get deals done, get your mind right. Come on, man. I'm an OG in this game. Don't play with me. Tyron Woodley's up. We're going to knock this dude out. Believe me on that one. Oh, and wait a minute. Yair Rodriguez, Max Holloway, #1 contender fight. That's another banger. And I got another one I'm waiting on the UFC to drop. Another big one that's going to piss some people off. Before you come into my territory, before you come into my game, I'll step into yours and make deals happen before you do mine, my boy. Remember that.
Tyron Woodley on his Instagram live speaks on fighting Jake Paul.
Surprise. So we back at it, August 28th. You would visualize Jake Paul getting his head knocked smooth off his neck. Sometimes you talk yourself into a situation that you can't back yourself out of. My mom used to say this all the time. What's up, my man, Jay Reed? My mom used to say, your mouth wrote a check that your ass can't cash. That's exactly what happened. So all the clout chasing, all the yelling, all the blah, blah, blah. I'm a fighter. All the MMA guys don't ever want to fight me. Now you got that's going to fight you like you ain't never been fought before. Ain't no sparring you can do to get ready for it. Ain't no meditation. Ain't no kumbaya. Ain't no mama say, mama say, maku say. You can do, you can your ass beat. So I'm pumped up about it. I was quiet. I let him do his little bling, 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 say whatever he wanted to say. My dog, like I said before, it was my dog's chance to fight. It wasn't not my fight. It was not my fight. These dudes out here for the clout. He came into the out clout. His cornerman's out for the clout. Everybody out for clout. Now your clout finna get you hit in the mouth. So appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. It's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a movie for sure. For sure. Everybody want to know what I'm doing, how long I've known about it, who I'm training with. Obviously, Eric Brown has been my boxing coach forever, so he's gonna be my chief second. He's gonna be the #1 guy in the training camp. Got a lot of other people that reached out to me. Andre Ward, my dog, reached out. I cannot miss the opportunity to be an honor and blessing. So find some time to work with Andre Ward as well, and then after that, I know more today. So love you guys, appreciate you guys. Get ready to make history, break the record. I always wanted to box my whole life, never did it. I always wanted to box. I told you, Valentine, I told you, dog, and I put that in there too, the vacation braids. But yeah, so I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it's crazy how things happen. I started doing MMA in 2005 because I was like, man, I'm too old to just box, man. I was 23 years old, out of college wrestling, so I did MMA. I'm like, I can wrestle and punch. So Showtime, appreciate you guys, everybody that made it possible. I mean, this wasn't an easy thing to do, so they went crazy the last month or so, 2 months, trying to put it together, and we got it done. So me being quiet has been not hard because I don't run my mouth a lot. That's this is new school kids that just everything. I just do. So I'm about to do some work. August 29th. Make sure y'all slide through. I'll let y'all know where the fight's gonna be as soon. We're still figuring that out. Obviously on pay-per-view, show up, show out, and we're gonna break some records. I'm gonna break a jaw while I'm at it. So, all right, love you guys. Appreciate you. All my dogs on here. I can't get to all y'all all at once, but I appreciate everybody. See my dude J Riley Chief on here. Dude J Valentine, Smoke, I see you, my dude. But yeah, everybody, y'all know what it is. Time to go.